What's up, y'all? Jeffery, Jeffery TV, live on Memorex, default route, default location. Day 14 of disability. No, day 13 of disability. My 14th consecutive day without working. And I definitely feel different. I definitely feel so far that this time off is warranted. And it's not so much, laying around and doing nothing, but it's more about mentally laying around and doing nothing. The object is to, I think, the object is to physically, do things, but to clear myself mentally. So I've been getting my steps, haven't missed, getting my steps in. I'm not getting the 16, 17,000 that I usually get when I work. Because I did say I was going to start walking like I was taking a lunch and a break, to correspond at those times, 15 minutes and a half hour, spread out between 12 noon and 8 p.m. But my weight is down-ish. My weight's not going up, put it that way. It's definitely not going up, and it's down-ish. And yesterday, I'm starting to realize, and I'm sure we all know this, we've been taught this, one of the first things we're taught about eating and diet. I found myself eating my biggest meal in the middle of the day and then taking a nap. But then when I wake up in the evening, I don't have to eat again. That's significant. Now, of course, you don't want to munch on something. There may be some popcorn, maybe a lot of popcorn, hot air pop with a lot of butter, blah, blah, blah. But I don't need to eat a big meal. And I think that really helped, because I got on a scale yesterday before bed, it was 202. I was like, whoa. I had French fries and fried chicken, but it was in the middle of the day. And though I didn't really do anything after that, I didn't go walking or anything or exercise, it's probably a big difference. So I might try that. But also, I'm thinking the Black and Milds. The Black and Milds curbs my appetite, gives me a distraction, blah, 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 to where I'm not sitting around bored and want to eat. I found myself getting back to the point where I'm doing it too much. Again, like my personality, I believe, is where it's like all or nothing. And I'm doing it too much and I'm gonna wear it out. And I kind of hope I do. Hope I wear it out and get tired of it. And then hopefully I can get off of the Black and Milds and everything else to fall in place. There's a few things that I would like to fall in place that would be quote unquote perfect scenario for me. Disability kicked in. I got my first disability check deposited. I ain't gonna tell you how much it is, but I need to take a deeper look into it as to why it's more than what I make. Probably because the 401k ain't taken out, maybe because insurance isn't taken out, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, this number per week is higher than when I bring home. That's from the state. And that's just the partial. And I think MetLife is gonna kick in and do a little something on top of that. So it's good to, have that money coming in. I'm at the point now where it doesn't matter. I'm at the point now where it doesn't matter, I have to raid my retirement savings or blah, 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 whatever, because this was something that had to happen, pretty much non-negotiable to a large degree. So, you know how that goes. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Your body put you in a position to where, look, this is the way it's gotta be. I can't, my body won't respond. The physiology, the metabolism doesn't kick up or kick in to get you right, to perform. And sometimes you gotta listen to your body. Like I said, this ain't my first time getting to a point to where I just couldn't handle a job anymore. Barely could even walk in the building, et cetera, et cetera. So, things are going swimmingly, I must admit. Things are going pretty well. There's a couple shoes that need to drop, or what is it called? Things that need to drop, shoes need to drop, whatever, to make it absolutely perfect few months. And I got my eye on those. I'm thinking about what I can do and not do to make those things happen. Also, the position, you know what? The position I applied for, the change out of my, what I'm doing at where I'm at, because I want to stay there and retire there, but I just don't want to be answering the phones. I applied for that position, and I went out on the 3rd. My disability started on the 3rd, and April 4th, they sent me a request for interview. I was like, oh my God, did I miss this? If I miss this? If I miss this? And I thought, well, if I miss it, I'm at a point now where, I make fun and say I'm healing, but I'm at a point now where I gotta let a lot of that stuff go and just focus on my mental, getting myself back to where I wanna participate. So I had to kind of like not get too, caught up and probably be missing that opportunity. So I sent them an email and they was like, yeah, no problem. We can, set it up to do this. And I checked the website, the job is still listed. And of course, I'm gonna print out the job description. It's been a long time since I had to solicit for a job. Do all the studying and this and that. You know what I mean? Do all the studying and get myself together and put on a shirt, maybe a tie for the Zoom interview, and just to go through it. So I printed out the requirements and the job description. I'll match up my history and my strengths and weaknesses against that. So, you sit down in front of somebody, you'll be ready, with attributes. And one of the things I could definitely say is, by you hiring me, what I don't know and experience I don't have doing this as I forget the enterprise application and that analyst, enterprise application analysis. Yeah, analysis. Global technology support analyst. As that analyst, I'll make up for already having so much inside information. It's just there's certain things you won't even have to, do for me. I'm already onboarded. I'm already, in this. My name is in there. I know the system. I know the way around. There's so much that I don't have to be retaught. And, I probably won't have any problem letting them know that I'm super fairly confident that I can learn it. I can learn it, and more than likely, in less than a year or two, definitely within a year or two, I'll be the best one to ever do the job. I have that confidence. Well, best and, is, but I'll be one of the best to ever do that job. Because if I get motivated, I get to focus, and I'm able to just lock in and feel good about it. And wake up in the morning, can't wait to get there, can't wait to learn, can't wait to participate. Whew. And not on them damn phones. Oh my God. The only thing that I can see so far that may be an impediment or something I gotta watch for is the schedule is hybrid. That's 2 days a week. So that means when I go back to Ohio, I'd have to take 2 days off each week of PTO, which probably won't be hard considering, I probably might not miss no work. With the new rejuvenated position, I might not miss no work. So I can build up my PTO and handle 2 days off. And if the dominoes fall where they should, I think dominoes was the word, not shoes. Shoes drop. If the dominoes fall where I would like them to, I'll be back in Ohio for the longest period of time in probably 10, 15 years and not have to work. Whew, that's gonna be a party. Then I'll come back, ideally I come back, I get off disability, and have a few days off, and start right back at work at the new position. That would be, oh my God, put that in the universe. That would be so good, I feel like I don't deserve it. And you know how I feel about me. So that would just be tremendous if that was to go down. That would be just like spectacular. That would, I feel like in ways, I would say, in ways, to put it crudely, that I don't deserve it, to put it crudely, I'm like, why? But, if things fall that way, that'd be beautiful. So, but, in fact, the day before yesterday, I had a good day. I don't want to say it was my best day, but I had a good day. Meaning, I was productive, I got stuff done, I felt like I had energy going forward, and I felt myself feeling better. That's what I wanted to say. I felt myself feeling better. And that's kind of important that I do. I felt myself feeling better. And I could actually feel it. And I can actually feel maybe like a heaviness come off my shoulders, or the cloudiness getting a little less cloudy, and the energy coming in a certain way. And it felt good. It felt good. And what I did was I went to storage. So I went on my storage and I pulled out all my pictures, my photos from over the years. It's like, I got them stored in there, and I actually threw some stuff away. No, I actually gave some stuff with the Goodwill. They got out of there that, I'm like, I ain't gonna mess with this stuff. If I want it, I just buy another one. And I I got rid of a black Christmas tree, and I gave away my bike stand. I don't have a bike no more. And I think I gave away something else, I'm not sure. And I pulled a bunch of VHS tapes and a VCR. VCR is dead, I gotta get another one. My mother has one. I'm gonna go mess with hers so that I can transfer all these tapes to my father, videotapes my father had of my kids growing up and etc., weddings and stuff. He was a film photographer too. That's probably maybe where I got it from. That's maybe where I got it from. He was a film photographer too. But one thing I do remember about his collection, we was never allowed to touch it too. We was not allowed to go in them pictures. Because it was, I knew where they were, and it was always something that I always wanted to just look at. You know, just see the old pictures of me and all this stuff. Something I was always fascinated by. And now I'm in possession of them. And one thing about his collection, one thing about his collection that I quote unquote wanted to improve on with mine was that mine was going to be organized from day one. I was going to start the organization early. I was going to have a structure in place that where if I took this picture, this would go there. It'd be marked this way. And I just start with that structure going forward where I don't have to go back and do it, because all his pictures, I had to go back through hand by hand, which was cool. You know, I had to go through every picture hand by hand, looked at them, you know, noted them, filed them away. You know, I did that while I was working between calls. So, you know, I got all his done. Now I went and got mine, and I'm looking at mine. I put mine away. Mine's just pretty organized already. I'm like, damn, Mr. Mitchell. Damn, Mr. Mitchell. You know, marked by month and date, month and year, nice little boxes in the envelopes. And I got the VHS tapes. He had the VCR. It was kind of busted up, but I think still worked. And then I brought it home and dropped it, and it's almost splattered to pieces. And I plug it in now, don't even turn on. So it's done. And I saw VCRs on eBay for like 50 bucks. Pre-owned VCRs on eBay. I seen for like 50 bucks. And that's only if the one my mother has doesn't work. And even on Amazon, you can get like a certified real one, blah, 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 blah. I even get one with DVD, blah, blah, for like $250. You know, to digitize all of this stuff, it'd be worth it. And of course, I could send it away to a legacy box, whatever one I found that digitizes tapes for like $6 a tape, which, you know, may not be a bad idea. We'll see how this goes. And then, you know, maybe I'll just send it $6 a tape. 100 tapes would be $600. Considering how valuable this stuff is, you know, to the family and to legacy and going forward. $600 is a lot of money to do 100 tapes. You know, if I could break it down and see how many tapes that need to be done, might not even be 100. If it's 50, shoot, it's 300 bucks. Ship them. Do it. You know, you're gonna come back and post a file on the internet that's downloaded of all of it already digitized. You know, so, you know, I'm gonna go through that. And I bought a composite video to USB converter. So, and I tested it and it worked. I put composite video from a camera into it, plugged it into my desktop, and it picked it up. I was able to record it and do this and do that, and, you know, make it happen. That was good. I think I got it fixed. Yeah. The video one worked. The video one that I bought worked What was acting funny was the digital video camera, the firewire connection to the computer wasn't recording. That part troubles me because I want to be able to get that firewire and record. It wasn't picking it up. It would stop or hesitate or whatever. I don't know if I should reinstall the software or do this. Actually, it said to use OBS Studio. So, no, that was for the video. The video card, the video converter software that they recommend to capture the stuff was OBS Studio. I'm like, damn, OBS Studio in the house. And I thought to myself, I should send them some money. I should send them a donation. And I should send VLC a donation. I should send IR Fan View a donation. And I should send VeraCrypt a donation. But, because I rely heavy on that, on those things. And I use them, I got a lot of use and work. It saved a lot of time. And, I feel definitely worth, the product. I respect their product. Probably need to, send them some money. Like Pandora, years ago, I would use Pandora, listen to Pandora so much. I feel like I need to give y'all some money. So I subscribed for a couple of years. Because I was using it for free for so much and for so long and was getting so much reward from it. I felt like I could give back and was probably in a position to give back and, support it for what it's all done for me. So I did that. Got the storage and took stuff to Goodwill. And then I went to the hardware store and got a 2x4 and I secured or supported at a support or reinforced my bed frame. Cause I know I got a cheap bed frame. I knew I got it cheap. It was the cheapest, but it's a wooden one and I know it's cheap. And it's metal and I'm looking at it. And when the first day I got it, I was like, this ain't gonna work. So I had to replace, the middle pole was on some metal that I knew I bounced up on that thing, how I jump in bed or lay in bed, it wasn't gonna last. So I went and got some 2x4s and I built a brace going horizontally across the bed to support the middle. And I used good, strong wood. Wood ain't gonna bend. And I put a brace under it so it'll hit the floor. And give it support. And it actually, and I got good heavy duty screws, nuts and bolts even, fastened it to the existing frame in such a way that it just shored it up. You can just feel the difference for sure. And then over time, I guess a couple of years now, things started to come loose and even started to break. I mean, the headboard is made out of particle board, for crying out loud. And the wood is, I don't even know if it's wood. It's probably pressed, whatever. But the 2x4s I get from the lumber store, that's wood. You drill screws into there, they ain't moving. And I drilled some wood screws into that, and I got 2 mending braces, and I put a slat between the 2x4s that support the headboard, that go vertically like this to support the headboard. That thing, because it used to creak, I shored that thing up. It's solid now. And then I said, then I did it such a way that I had to cut it the right way. Got my jigsaw out, had to cut it the right length because it had to fit in between the 2 boards, be flush in between 2 boards. And then I took the headboard and I screwed it into that board. In fact, I deliberately put the board that was going horizontal to support the reinforcement support at a certain height, right at the bottom of the headboard. Because I knew I was going to support that because that cheap particle board, and it broke. And I had to cut all that off. You can see the staples in it. You know, staples in the wood. Trying to cut all that off. It actually has staples. That's the kind of furniture. So I cut all that off and I shored it up, tightened it up. And one of the things I did at storage was I had this full-size mattress pad, foam, a really nice heavy-duty mattress pad, full-size, that I used to sleep on because I used to sleep on the floor. I found that my back did not hurt if I slept on the floor, a hard, solid floor. So for years I got used to sleeping right on a hard floor, something that didn't give. My back stopped hurting. Then I got like a futon mattress, started laying on that. Then I guess over so many years, that started to hurt. You know, that kind of got worn down. You need to replace them. Then I think, was it Goodwill? And I saw this, you know, I said, oh, let's go to Goodwill and, you know, browse and just look at stuff. And I saw this foam pad, memory foam, whatever it was nice. I was like, ooh, this is nice and thick. I can get this, sleep on this, blah, blah. And I did. And then I eventually got rid of that and spent like $800-900 on the mattress I got now, extra firm, blah, 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 blah. And it's starting to, you know, it's okay. I need to flip it. I need to flip it, rotate it, and flip it better than I do. Because it's starting to get a little dip in it. And I'm also thinking it might be the frame. So I checked the frame this morning to make sure that that middle brace was still in place. And it was, but, because it feels like it's dipping. And I think it's the mattress and not the frame. But I checked anyway. So I put that full pad, I put that mattress pad that I found that was in storage. It's just sitting in this big tub, just not, you know, just taking up space. I didn't want to throw it away because it was so nice. So I put it on my bed, put the sheet, you know, took the bed completely apart pretty much. Not completely apart, but, you know, tore the bed down, moved the mattress, worked on it, got it nice and solid. I think it's so solid now. I put the mattress pad on it. Then I went, you know, to jump on the bed to see, you know, what kind of noises. No noise at all. No, nothing, just solid. It just felt so solid. I was like, ooh, I can't wait to sleep in this damn thing tonight. And I lay down there, oh, it was so comfortable. It didn't make noise, the headboard wasn't squeaking every time I moved the pillow or something. And it just felt solid. I was like, oh my God. And then I know eventually I'm gonna have to put some, I got support going horizontally across the bed. Now I'm gonna have to probably eventually support those going vertically, going to lengthwise. Get some, maybe even want to do it, I don't know. Get at least 2 2x4s and go lengthwise and secure them at the other end. Because the middle is solid. And the middle the middle and the top is solid. I put them screws in there, oh my goodness. Woo, you just feel the strength. I use my drill, I have a drill, I got jigsaw, drills, I had tools. I got tools. I've always had tools all my life. So I got tools, jigsaw, drill. The only thing I don't got is a power screwdriver, and I use the drill for that. Socket sets, wrenches, hammer, screwdrivers, all of it. I got it all. Tie wrap, I got everything. I got it all. I even got a heat gun, for crying out loud. So it's fun to work on that. You get that done and to be in motion and actually getting something done during the day. So that felt good. And it's gonna rain tomorrow. So my sinuses woke me up this morning and said, hello, we're still here. So I got out of bed, ate some grits and Polish sausage, because I had a hankering for grits. I made some grits the other day. Because I've been eating broccoli and cottage cheese, and I don't know, I think I'm getting tired of that. I want something more sticky or something more carbohydrate-y, something more, like bread absorbing or something in my stomach. So I went and made some grits. And the secret I found out with grits, and I'm learning more and more, less salt. Tastes better. For some reason, I thought salt was, the wonder seasoning of the universe. But I'm starting to find out the right amount of salt, or less than, or the right amount of salt is what counts. You put too much, you ruin it. Not even ruin it, you take the taste. The taste just isn't good. In fact, I used to put garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, all this stuff in my grits. Butter. I'm like, okay. Cheese. I'm like, all right. And then I think one time I did something where I didn't put any of that in there. I just put the cheese and butter, that's it. Oh, it was good. Because there's enough salt in the cheese. Oh, it's good. Just to have that, you can taste the grits, you can taste the butter, you can taste the cheese, without the salt and stuff. So I had to eat some of that this morning. It was good. And took my medicine, took sinus pressure, pain, medicine, and 2 Tylenol. And it seems to work. It seems to be working. It seems to work. I've taken it in the past. So that's where I'm at, people. That is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. I'm definitely feeling different. Definitely feeling better. Had to jump through a bunch of hoops with the state. No, state disability was cool. It's MetLife that's tripping. State disability is cool. It's MetLife that's tripping. And one of the issues is they got these robocalls, automatic calls. So I'm getting text messages, we submitted a paper, we ain't heard it. And I called call my worker there. She said, don't worry about it. She said, I apologize for that. They apologize for the telephone system. MetLife's telephone system is terrible. I wasn't used to dealing with anything like that. It had been a long time since I had to deal with that kind of inefficiency. But now that I think about it, the state was boom, boom, boom. Online, submit this, boom, boom, boom. The doctor, that. But, MetLife is the one that's kind of bureaucratic, if I can throw that big word out. Like that. And they're supposed to supplement what I don't get paid by the state. And like I said, the amount that was deposited in my check, my weekly allotment, if I get that every week, that's more than I bring home every 2 weeks. But it's probably taxes got to come out of that. So that's why I got to look into it. Probably got to pay taxes on it. My 401k isn't being contributed to. But at this point, I was gonna raid my 401k to survive. So not contributing to my 401k is like, okay, for a few months. Okay, cool. Because I was gonna have to go in there to survive possibly. But the state came in, get my money. MetLife is doing what they do. I was gonna say messing around. MetLife is doing what they do. So basically, I'm looking to get 3 months off with pay. That should be life-changing. That should be life-changing, especially in a career job like this one, where I want to finish up. I want to go 17 years and clock out, retire, full. No, delayed, not full retirement, Not full Social Security retirement, delayed Social Security retirement. Delayed, get that extra couple $100. That's what I'm shooting for. But I might just say I'm done with this at 67. You know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how I feel, how it goes. What kind of shape I'm in, situation, where I can live, how I can live. You know, staying aware, staying abreast of what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm healing. I'm saying that sarcastically again, but I really am. And I really didn't know how much until, you know, I got this time. I really didn't know. You really don't know how caught up or deep in it or whatever until you can step away from it. Step away from it and feel what it's like not to have it on your shoulders. Feel what it's like to be without that weight that you just get used to after all these years. You just get used to it. You're like, oh, I can breathe. I mean, not that I couldn't breathe before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't breathe. It was getting to the point where I felt smothered, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing, and that's where I'm at. Feels good. And I did not look back. I didn't check my email because, like I said, they requested an interview the day after. The day after I went out on disability. I went out on disability officially April 3rd. April 4th, they sent the request, and I replied back April 13th. I said, is this too late? Am I too late? You know, I'm still into this. I'm still very interested. I said, I'm on leave of absence, but, you know. So, hopefully, you know, I can get going. I haven't heard back from them, but that doesn't seem to bother me because it don't look like, I'm not gonna say they're not in a hurry to fill this position, but they're taking their time. They're definitely not, doesn't seem to be rushing into anything. And of course, I'm confident that if I can get one-on-one, face-to-face with somebody, turn on some of that Jeffery, and you know. And whether I can or can't is probably secondary to the confidence that I have that I can. Whether I can actually do it or not is probably secondary to the fact that I believe I can do it. I'm confident I can do it. Just be me. That's all I got to do. You know, if I get that, oh my God. If I get that, woo, that would be, And thinking about it, my talent and ability, personality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is probably, you know, rare. And it's probably, they probably get more out of this than I am. You know, I'm probably not getting paid enough considering, you know, how talented and personable and, you know, understanding I am and, you know, how I get along well with everybody. You could be a leader from behind, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they're probably dying to keep me. They should be dying to keep me. Say, oh, wow, we can get him over here like this, you know, and yeah. And then my boss is like, well, months ago, he was like, well, you know, I hate to see you go, but because you're one of the best we got here, it'd be a big chunk, you know, to replace you. And they're definitely hiring, you know. I don't know, to replace my position, replace whatever, but they're definitely hiring. my role, and they should. They should. I think. Because, we got metrics and SLAs. I guess SLAs is, how fast you're supposed to do something, how much time you're supposed to spend on a certain task and your routine duties, etc. And we're still negotiating since we switched systems. We're negotiating what those SLAs should be, how things should get processed, how many emails we should receive at a time, how many is in the queue, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I talk about the job. I love the job. I just can't do it anymore. I don't think. I just can't do it right now. I just can't do it right now. But once I left, I did not look back. Once I got out of there and that disability kicked in, I did not look back. I'm like, am I okay? Is my job okay? How's everything? Is everything good? You need anything? Nope, none of that. Like, boop, locked it up for like a week and a half. I had no connection. And I had no qualms or problems with that. Week and a half, nothing, No, maybe a week, and then I pulled out my work phone to check my email just to see if, I had to get online to see if, hear back from the interview process. And that's when I found out, on the 13th. So I didn't go back to the 13th, I guess it was 10 days before I really checked back in. So that's how that went. Feel good. I feel good. I feel good. It's a nice day. The weather is not hot. Weather is comfortable. A little bit of sun, not too much. It's starting to warm up a little bit. So we'll go do what we're gonna do. And again, as I said, I probably ain't got no problem sleeping all day. I probably ain't got no problem being lazy and sleeping all day. But we'll see. And I was supposed to go to my mother's tonight, but something came up to where I don't have to go. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, oh my goodness, thank you, Jesus. Like, oh my goodness, thank you, Jesus. Because I need some time. This 3 days, this 4 days, I got back Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. These 4 days went fast. I'm supposed to be healing. This time it's about me. Not caregiving. Like I said, you gotta be deliberate. You gotta carve out time for yourself, carve in space, time. Here's where I saw the coyote, remember? I think I posted a video of the coyote in this area. They live over there. I seen them yesterday too. They just be casually walking around, just walking, looking around, not threatened. Well, there's only one of them. Ain't no bay, I guess you could say. So, That's where we stand. That's where we're at. That's where we're staying. That's where we're at. Of course, still P-Funk shows coming up. Steelers still don't have a quarterback. All the talk is Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh, et cetera, et cetera. Mason Rudolph. You know, all that I can make a separate video. Usually I should just stream all this stuff together. But somehow in my head, I feel like I should start making separate videos. Just because when I talk P-Funk, you know, get a lot more views and wouldn't want to subject somebody to a lot of rocker. Let's get right to the P-Funk knowledge. Just get right to dispersing the glorious insight of my P-Funk knowledge, of which I had a revelation yesterday that I ain't gonna go into right now. Separate video. Anyhow, swinging on y'all. 2 times. For me, and for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom, in this or in any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, theory of universe, hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.